So here we are back at the lathe. So what we're going to do, as you can see the pencil mark for this small step, we're going to use a file to round off the corners to make a bit of a ramp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to run 5 separate cutters through here. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. 12 is the final size that we want. Then I'm just going to loosen the chuck, slide out another ½ inch of material or so, and then I'm just going to cut the bigger step, which will stop at a 14. The reason I don't have it all the way out is that I want to eliminate as much deflection as possible. It's going to be a lot more rigid. So let's cut that first step, and then I'll turn the lathe off and we'll see how we're doing. Okay, you can see why I've chucked it there, because on that last cut, you can start to feel it wanting to move around because it's a much smaller diameter than's anchored in the chuck. So let's get a machine on there. So I think we're pretty close to where we want to be, so I'm just going to leave that, and then we're going to cut the next station. Okay. I'm going to take away these 2 cutters so I don't get overzealous. So I've got 16, 15, 14. Okay, so there we've got our small step for the male slide, our bigger step for the anchoring into the ferrule, and then I'm going to work manually and carefully this final step, which represents where the ferrule tab goes. So now this diameter and this diameter are the same, so I'm just going to have to touch that with a file, touch that with a file. I'm just going to do one pass at a time, and then continually try and fit this until I get the fit that I want. I'm also using an auger file, which is a much finer cut. Yeah, I've only got about 1/4 of an inch more to go. So now I'm in all the way, and now I'm going to have to start working on this final section. So, you know, it took a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes or so, but I've got a nice full bearing pin down to the water slide, which is about 50 thou, and a nice tight fit in there. I've got a little bit of room for glue, and that should just work out perfectly. Now I just have to go that final 1/4 of an inch for the ferrule tabs or so. So that's how you fit a step down ferrule. There you can see the step using ferrule cutters. Very accurate, relatively quick, and not a lot of guesswork involved, just relying on the true diameters from the cutters. I have a bit of taper here from where I'm forcing the start, but it's only about 1/4 of an inch. I've got a true diameter for all of this distance here, so I'm very happy with that. A little room for glue and clean up the front section. Anyway, hopefully that clarifies things for you. If you have a new step downs, they look great on the finished rod, and don't be afraid to give